All right, so this is a pretty old saying here. I'm just keeping it real. I'm too real. Just being real with you, right? But let me help you understand something. Are you really just keeping it real? Are you really just too real for everybody? Are you really just trying to be real with somebody? Or is it just real to you? Because the thing you got to understand is that most of these people who walk around speaking carelessly and stuff like that really ain't keeping it real. They're just reckless. Because if it ain't first true, then how is it real? If you ask yourself this, right? But what is the definition in your mind of true? Well, it's got to be real. So if you doing what you call keeping it real, it's got to first be true. Not just true to you. Not just true for the moment according to how you feel like talking right now, but is it actually true? What up, though? And so most people that say stuff like, I'm just too real for them, or, I had to keep it real with them and all of that. Most of the time, they ain't even saying what's true. They telling you what they feel like saying, and they speaking recklessly, not true. If you ain't speaking the truth, it's not keeping it real. I don't care if you feel like, well, it took a lot of balls to have the sheer audacity to come up with words to say like that. That don't make it real. It just make you reckless. Period. Then you got to ask yourself this. Didn't the Bible say that every man will give an account for every idle word they speak? I think people forget that or just don't know. But what screw people over is this. They don't understand what an idle word is. Okay, you look up the definition. What is an idle word? Careless word. Words without constructive intent or purpose. Words without meaning. And I don't mean words that you then turn around and say, oh, I didn't mean it. Yeah, everything anybody said under the intention of trying to keep it real, they meant it. Right? I mean, just because moments change, feelings change, situations change, it don't mean that they ain't mean what they said. Everybody mean what they say, unless you just talking too fast and you honestly think you telling the truth and really you had just had a misunderstanding or something like that. But everybody mean what they say. And you're going to have to really, at some point, go to God and ask for forgiveness for what it is you say. And not just forgiveness, because forgiveness is not the same as deliverance. I need people to understand that. God might forgive you for something you said to somebody under the intention of just trying to keep it real one day. But if you still like that, you are still wearing a lot of people thin who interact with you. And just because people can forgive you, it don't mean the damage ain't done. And sometimes people assume that forgiveness is a way to clean up damage that's done. And it's technically not, right? Like, let's just say, if the Bible say not to get tattoos, I went out and got a tattoo. I asked God for forgiveness. He forgave me, but yet I'm still stuck with the tattoo. But let's just say you're supposed to have kids after you get married. And I went out and had a baby out of wedlock. Right? I went to God, asked for forgiveness. I changed my ways, sincerely repented. But guess what? I still got a baby. See, everybody think that forgiveness is a way to clean up damage after they done being reckless. And that's not all the way true. You won't have to pay the eternal penalty for your sin. Somebody in your life can forgive you and they'll no longer count it against you. But at the same time, a lot of times the damage is still done. A lot of times it's like, okay, I already took a mental note of this person's character. I forgive them. I won't hold it against them, but at the same time, I know where not to put them, right? If I know that somebody is reckless with their words, I would never put them in customer service. It's like, I'll make sure you still have a job, right? Like, I'll forgive you and I won't fire you, but you can't be in customer service no more. You got to be a janitor, something like that, something that nobody, got to talk to for any reason, because I don't need any more situations like that happening. A lot of people get forgiveness all the way messed up. And then another thing too, you got to understand is that out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And so you really got to thank God for those times when even you end up speaking reckless, because that allow you to have an opportunity to weigh and measure out your heart. So that way you're not walking around here thinking, oh, I'm just perfect before God. And it's like, like you got to thank God for them opportunities that come by and show you yourself. Always do. Don't just sit here and take it against everybody else because somebody else done or said something that brought something out of you. God allowed that to happen so that way you can see where you are. So that way you're not walking around here helter-skelter thinking that you just perfect before God. All because you had fun at praise and worship service. Right? I mean, we seem to think that. And then another thing he said too is, how can bitter and sweet water come out of the same mouth? How come in one mouth you sing praises to God, but with the same mouth you yell curses at men? Those things ought not to be. If you still cursing men, then how should God take your praise and worship? How should God view your worship if out of the same mouth you still curse men? Those kind of things you really got to sit back and understand. It's either you want a mouth that speak life or you want a mouth that speak death. But you can't be half and half with it. Because half and half makes you what? Lukewarm. A lot of people think lukewarm is only about people that's still worldly and got a form of godliness. No, lukewarm can happen in a lot of ways. Lukewarm can happen in so many different ways. It's crazy. Not just, right, not just being Christian on Sunday and then being something else Monday through Saturday. It's like lukewarm can happen even with your mouth, and your mouth is a direct reflection of your heart. What come out of your mouth? Now, you can walk around here thinking you a perfect Christian all this time, but wait until somebody tell you off in the store and all you trying to do is go shopping. What do you say back to them? Okay, that's showing you yourself right there. Fix that. Well, how can I fix how I want to talk? Is here in the heart. It ain't about trying not to say something. Whatever you got to try not to do is a clear indication that that is you. You are what you are trying not to do. You are still that. If you got to try to be on your best behavior, that means what? You are still reckless. It's just you trying to be on your best behavior. Right? Anything you got to try to do, still you. The only thing that you can do is have you as a person, your heart, your mind, your soul, spirit, and your body sanctified. See, a lot of people think that sins are things you do on the outside. That's true, but sin is first you. Right? Sin is first you. That's why the Bible calls some people sinners. This is you. You don't be this. Well, how am I just gonna not be that? You got to go to God and have your mind renewed. And whatever goes through your mind will eventually work its way into your heart. Your mind is like the pre-filter for your heart. It really is. I mean, I don't even want to call it a pre-filter, really. But everything that work its way into your mind eventually work itself into your heart. It's almost like a funnel or something like that. But, you know, that's why we need to have our minds renewed. Without having our minds renewed, how can we have our hearts renewed? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to set your affections on things above and not on things of the earth. And when you set your affections on things above, it renews your mind and it'll eventually clean your heart. And you can always know where you are. You can always measure whether or not you walking in the spirit or the flesh. What do you think about all day long? What do you think about all day long? A man is what he thinks all day long. As a man thinks, so is he. Y'all need to understand that. You are what you think about all the time. And you have become what come out of you. And one of the best examples of anything that comes out of a man, because the Bible says it's not what goes into a man that defile him, it's what come out of a man. One of the best ways to be able to show somebody that is what they say, because words actually come out of you, right? Well, like a word come out of you. How you treat people come out of you. And what people think about you is not always a direct reflection of you. Because some people can think you meant something with ill intent and the whole time you didn't. They just filter it that way. Right? So you always got to have your identity in Christ first. And don't let man or principles of earth determine who and what you are before God. That's why you got to have your own relationship with God. Make your own calling and election sure. Or else you could be ran around by everybody's opinions. Well, I think you ain't this because you ain't do that. But it's a reason I didn't do that, and it was a good reason. Well, like, you know what I'm saying? People can think like that, but just watch your words, though. Watch what you say, and not just what you say, but why you say it. Because you could even say good things with evil intent. Yeah, you could say good things with evil intent. You ever heard of somebody that's kind of condescending? Or you can have a false sense of sincerity, right? Most of the time people are being condescending. They're actually trying to say good things with an evil heart, right? I mean, it just worked that way. It's all about what kind of fountain are you? Are you the fountain of life, or are you a fountain of death? Like, you got to change the whole fountain. You got to change the whole spring. The whole well need to be cleaned out. You know, it's not about filtering the water that come out of the well. You got to clean out the whole well. Then put new water in it. You know what I mean? But other than that, I thought I might let y'all know this today. Y'all have a good rest of y'all day. Please like the video if you found this content helpful. Please follow my page if you want to see more content like this. Y'all have a blessed one in Jesus' name.